Tommy.
And I'm Christopher LeBoy, Boy. I'm always a boy, no matter what.
Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris Show.
This is my amazing, brilliant, beautiful wife, Lourdes, and I'm not wearing any shoes.
He's nuts. And this is my amazing, extraordinary husband who I love dearly.
Oh.
Chris.
Oh. So today we're going to talk a little bit about omega-3
fatty acids.
That's right.
And what is it?
Yeah. It's funny because I always thought omega-3 would be a cool, like, spiny, like James Bond 007. Like, Mr. President, things have gotten out of hand. Best get me omega-3.
Fatty acids.
Now, see, no. That doesn't work.
No, because anything that, you add fat to kind of like minimizes stuff.
I guess. Bulletproof fat. I don't know.
Well, no,
We'll work on it.
You don't feel urgent anymore, right? You go, oh my God, like this omega-3, and you just say fatty acids, and it kind of brings it all down, and no urgency anymore.
Fatty acids makes you calm, I guess, is what is. Oh, fatty acids.
No, omega-3s and omega-6. Omega-6 is important because that's what creates inflammation and healing when you have an injury or something's going on. The inflammation also causes pain, letting you know there's something wrong in this area or something's going on, right?
Yeah, no, inflammation is supposed to be the body's natural way of like rushing blood to a certain area. Yeah. And the pain is actually its way of saying, hey, something's wrong here.
Yeah. So it's protecting you.
Yeah, so protection. So story time. I'll try and be brief because I know I get long. A while back, when we lived in Chicago,
Chicago suburbs.
Yes. We lived north of Chicago, and we put up Christmas decorations. And I had committed to not be one of those neighbors that keeps their Christmas decorations up until mid-March because we're waiting for the snow to thaw. And so 2 days after Christmas, I was out there on a ladder. And I got so much down, and well, I wish I could say there was a cool story behind how I broke my ankle, but literally I just forgot that I have one more rung of the ladder to go.
Which, by the way, that's typical for him.
It's true.
Like he always knocks himself ugly.
No, but I'm a tough guy for it. So I missed. So I thought I was just wanting to get to the ground, and my body went a little faster than it should, and for some reason my foot went inward to compensate.
So he broke his ankle.
I heard a pop, and there goes my ankle.
Yeah.
Now, almost instantaneously, it poofed right up. The size of a large grapefruit, maybe a small cassava melon or something.
It was huge.
Yeah, it was. So, but that's like an acute form of inflammation, and that's the body going, oh no, something happened.
Right.
Ah! And it rushes blood to that area to try and inflame it.
Yeah, and that's what it is when you get a hit, a stab, a blow, or some type of injury, right? Or eating really bad foods and your cells are getting injured because of the artificials and bad stuff.
That's a lot more common than what we're talking
about.
Yeah,
so when we're eating poorly, that causes injury to our body, to our cells, right? And it starts breaking down. So when things break down or get injured, our bodies create inflammation to help heal.
Yeah. So 2 types of omega fatty acids, right? You got your omega-6 and you got your omega-3. And like they're twins, but like in a Shakespearean play where one's got one role to play and one's got the other role to play, right? So your omega-6 is what causes inflammation. Humans can't make that type of fat. They're basically a type of fat.
Yeah.
Humans can't make omega-3 or omega-6.
Yeah. You actually get it from like foods, right? Fish, flax seeds.
Well, that's omega-3 you get from that.
I'm sorry, you're right. Yes. Omega-6 actually comes from
processed foods, fast foods.
Yeah,
like
things that create.
Fat.
We don't want to have too many omega-6, and we get a lot of that from like fried foods or just in general a lot of bad eating. But if you consistently are just injuring your body with bad foods, you're going to have disease.
Well, and that's where chronic inflammation comes into play, which is why we absolutely recommend Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon to help you with that. But but something else that also helps decrease inflammation in the body is not omega-6, right? Omega-6 is there for like
create inflammation.
To create inflammation because it's part of our body's natural defense mechanism.
Well, to heal.
Yes, absolutely.
It's the same thing like when you get a fever.
Yeah.
The reason why you get a fever is because you have some type of infection going on or something. So the body creates the fever, the heat to try to kill it. But sometimes we get uncomfortable and then we don't want to like just soak in the tub. We take stuff and we kind of stop the process.
You give me a fever.
Anyway.
Even when you hold me tight. Fever.
He's lost his mind.
Okay.
So back to the point.
Yeah.
The point is that It's okay to have inflammation when there's an injury or something so the body can start healing. It's not okay when you have an overactive inflammation and omega-6 that you're just not getting rid of. Omega-3s is the opposite. It then creates also healing, but in a way differently. If there's too much inflammation, omega-3 gets rid of the inflammation so that the pain goes away, that the process of healing can continue.
Again, Shakespearean play now. Omega-3s want to bring down that inflammation, and they want to balance it out, and they want it to come down.
So omega-3 steps in and starts decreasing that, which in turn, you start healing.
Sure, and chronic inflammation is what's happening because back in the day, our ancestors, they were mostly hunter-gatherers, right? I mean, there was no McDonald's to go get some food. So there was a pretty decent balance in the body. They probably had enough omega-6 and omega-3 to kind of offset each other to keep themselves in an equilibrium at all times.
Right.
And if it needed to be inflamed for some reason, it jumped into the action. And if it didn't, the omega-3 was already there to kind of bring it back down. We're no longer out there hunting for berries and trying to catch fish and eating them. Some are. Good for you. Good for you, but not all of us. But now studies show that we get 25 times more omega-6 than we do omega-3. And by the time we became an instant society, we want our food instant, and
well, now we're paying for it. So our body gets really acidic, creates a breakdown in the body, and the body is saying, hey, there's a problem because it's breaking down, so it creates inflammation. And it's not because you got injured or anything, it's just because we're eating the wrong things or stress, whatever, we're breaking down, creating inflammation, creating health issues, and then inflammation, then escalating to disease.
Yeah, 25 times more omega-6 than we do omega-3, and it's no wonder that we're a nation full of inflammation, chronic inflammation.
Well, chronic inflammation, which then chronic diseases.
Sure.
So it's in the omega-3s that we actually can level that out, and obviously changing our diet and lifestyle, right? Because we don't want to consistently keep putting things in our body that's breaking it down. We want to put things in our body that's bringing it up and building it up.
No, absolutely. As we touched on in the last episode, chronic inflammation is the cause of all of these diseases that we're experiencing, up to and including cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the point. When you have too much inflammation, it's your body saying, hey, the reason why you're having inflammation in the first place, which then inflammation causes pain, is to tell you there's a problem going on.
Yeah.
So address it. And a lot of times we just go to the doctor and then they can't figure it out and they're searching and stuff. But in reality, it's just that your body's off balance. You need to put back in those things that give you the omega-3s, that give you in fact, a lot of greens, leafy greens give you omega-3s.
Leafy 3s give you omega-3s.
Leafy greens give you omega-3s.
That's what you said, leafy greens.
I thought you said leafy 3s.
Did I say leafy 3s?
It sounded like you said leafy 3s to me.
I don't know.
Yeah. But
leafy greens give you omega-3s.
But again, because of this omega-3, it's good for heart disease, control cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Triglycerides.
Triglycerides. Help with arthritis. It can help prevent cancer, manages asthma, skin issues like eczema, depression, bipolar.
Yeah, it helps with that. It helps with chronic pain. It helps to prevent dementia. So we'll put a pin in that because
that'll be another subject we'll be.
Yeah, we really need to kind of unpack that luggage when it comes to the dementia conversation.
Because it really is important for us to understand why things occur, what can we do about it, because we can do something about it when it comes to your health. Period. I don't care what anybody says. Our body is meant to heal. Don't get me passionate.
don't get her passionate. You don't want to see her when she's
passionate. Don't make me lose my mind. And, so in reality, everything
when she gets passionate, her eye opens and it turns green. Passion for okay.
No, but really, we can take care of ourselves. We just have to change our habits. We have been trained and programmed for so long to do something quick, and those quick things, unless you're quickly taking a fruit and eating it or a vegetable, you're putting bad stuff in your body, and your body's breaking down, and it's asking you to help it.
Funny thing, and this is true. I just heard this the other day when we were kind of doing some work on this. Actually, can we? I'll tell you in a second.
After this break.
Yeah, after we come back with the sponsor break, I'll tell you what I heard the other day.
Yes.
I know they're on the edge of the seat now.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Tell me.
What is it? Ah!
I need to know.
Super Digest is an enzyme that Dr. Daniel Newsom created because he understood that that's one of the things that are critical when it comes to your health. You need your enzymes to break down the foods like protein, fats, and carbs. Well, he has the strongest digestive enzyme formula in the market.
Yeah, the strongest.
The strongest.
It's got 10 types of active digestive enzymes to enhance the digestion of proteins, fats, carbohydrates. You want to get all that out of there, as well as pineapple. This is a $10,000 word. Pineapple proteolytic. Proteolytic. Pineapple proteolytic
enzyme and papaya proteolytic enzyme.
We'll try to say it real fast. Pineapple proteolytic enzyme and papaya proteolytic enzyme.
Yep, and it's good for you.
And it's good for you.
So the enzyme helps you break down the food, which helps you then take in your nutrition, which helps you then stay healthy. And everything that this man makes, trust, is because he did the work, he did the research, and he made sure that everything he does, and every ingredient that goes in there is at its best, 100% amazing. And that's him.
We can't speak highly enough about this guy, and that's not just for grins and giggles. Like, legitimately, he's one of the nicest guys we've ever met. He's got integrity, he's got fairing.
Which is why you'll see him throughout the show.
Yeah, and he's our in-house doctor. Yeah. And the reason why we liked that we have been able to partner up with him in that capacity is because he's super duper smart. Yeah. Like,
And not just smart, though. He's got the biggest heart. He's just amazing. Wait till you hear his story. The guy is just
I don't know. I think he's also kind of tapped into the divine, and that's why he's so smart when it comes to this stuff. Yep. He knows his life mission. He was here to make lives better for people, and I think he's following through on it.
And then he's got this amazing wife, Gina.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Gosh. We love her.
Like, really, seriously.
We love them. I mean, we can't say more than that because they're just amazing. And wait till you see their story. Wait till you look at their products. Wait till you try their products. Everyone should actually have this.
We're very nearly stalking them at this point because they're just that amazing. Legitimately, just fantastic people. And he did the work, and he's made these products that amazing. So that's why we're talking about Super Digest, the strongest enzyme formula available on the market right now.
So make sure you guys get it. Today.
Right now.
Go on there today. There's the link that we're sharing. You see it?
Do you see it?
Do you see the link? You want to click on that bad boy and get the Super Digest.
And just, help your body help you, man. Help your digestion help you.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. I know. You're like, what was Chris going to say? That thing he heard the other day? It was so intriguing. Anyways, I had heard that while we were doing some research on omega-3s, that the reason why large animals like cows and other animals even get omega-3s at all is they get it from plants.
Plants.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get it from the grass that they eat, and they're just designed to eat that grass and draw up omega-3s from it. So omega-3s are out there in nature.
And I was going to say, if you think about it, the reason why you got that from, an acidic flesh, as I like to call it, carcass. So the reason why you get that is because they've already provided it through their body. Like when you eat certain, right? Let me put it this way. If I eat an orange, I'm getting C's, right? So it's not in my body. They can test me if I'm low on certain vitamin, minerals, and nutrients, depending on what I'm intaking. It's the same thing with an animal. So when you eat that animal, you're eating the flesh that he put in from eating other things that he got from nature, right? So but why would you want to take something in that can make your body acidic and cause more breakdown? And I'm not saying anything, I'm not telling anybody that they should not eat meat or they shouldn't. I personally don't. I don't see the need for it because I get my proteins through my fruits and vegetables and nuts and grains because everything carries protein because it's through the amino acids. Here I go again, that create the protein that builds in your body. And that being said.
This time I'm just like, go man, go. Just get them. Just get them. But I do want to point out some vegetarian food for thought. Some vegetarian food for thought. Some of the world's largest animals, like our largest land mammals, are elephants, apes, bulls, the great apes. They're vegetarian.
Yep.
So how are they so big and mighty
and strong? How do they got these strong, hard muscles? How are they strong if they're not eating another animal?
It's not steroids.
No. It's what they're eating that's coming from the earth. That's what we need to do. We came from the earth. We're going back to the earth. We need to stick with the earth.
So there'll be another vegetarian conversation. We're actually going to do a whole show about vegetarian and how we're designed. But omega-3s in the standard American diet, we're not getting enough of it.
Yeah, in fact, it also insists in healthy infant development.
Yeah.
When the woman is pregnant. Hello.
Yeah. Literally, while a woman is pregnant in the third trimester of pregnancy, the amazing human body will actually steal all the omega-3s, fatty acids that it can, selectively route it to the development of the child's brain.
The child's brain, 30% of it, if I'm understanding this correctly on what I've learned, the brain is made up of. Like, it's the omega-3 fatty acids that while the baby's brain is being developed, it's 30% of that that's helping to develop
But wait a minute, didn't we talk about dementia a little ago? I'm not trying to be clever and say I forgot that we talked about dementia. I know we talked about dementia. I'm just saying we did speak about dementia a little bit ago because omega-3s have been shown to help with that. And the reason being is because our brain is made up of 30% omega-3.
Yeah, and the thing is that when the brain is overtaxed, right, when it gets very toxic, whether it's through prescription drugs that we keep taking, which, by the way, if you look at a lot of not just one or two or three, many of the prescription drugs that are out there, I'm going to call them drugs because I don't consider that medicinal. When you put that level of toxins in the body, it does cause toxins even in the brain. Mm-hmm. If you get overly toxic, there's people that they're so toxic they can't even think straight. Think about somebody who gets so drunk. They're so, got all the overload in the body that they can't even think, they can't speak right. It affects them. It's the same way with toxins. You get too much toxins through drugs that are out there, prescribed or non, it will overtax the body and it will affect the brain. It's just that simple. So what do? They take and they get forgetful, but they're not being as bad, then it's not what the body needed. The body needs something that you see an actual progression of getting better. You want to heal the brain. You want to heal the cells. You want to heal the body. Put in omega-3s. And by the way, the best product to get on that, Inflammagon.
Right. Inflammagon. And that's why we're big proponents of the Inflammagon.
Yes.
I was just waiting for her to finish up there because really she saw that rabbit hole and she decided let's go down.
I dived in.
There will be an episode on dementia because we have a personal stake in that. But
I think, to be honest,
that like a preview of that.
But hold on a second. But there's so many people right now. I can tell you that their loved ones are affected by dementia, Alzheimer's, and so many other brain injuries and problems that they're having. That why wouldn't we want to do what we can for them?
Where can someone get omega-3s?
Well, everybody knows fish oil, right?
Yeah, that's the popular
fish.
answer.
Yeah, fish is the popular, but it's not just fish oil. There's so many other things. I mean, there's people that don't like seafood. So what do you do?
So the thing is that and then not all fish is created equally either.
Right.
Like some.
Well, salmon is high in it.
Salmon is high. Sardines, I've heard. Tuna.
Yeah.
Ooh, sardines.
I used to eat that.
Can you imagine?
I used to eat it.
No, and it was just. Oof. Anyways, sardines are high. Certain crabs. The thing about the fish oil, if I have to say that there's a downside of the fish oil, if you're eating a lot of fish, there's some pitfalls now. So, for example, the nuclear thing that happened.
Because now it's all the toxic mercury and radiation all that's in the water. Yeah. So it's kind of affecting even if you're eating that. It's kind of hard to.
So if you're getting,
and you don't want farm raised because that's
there's a whole other thing about that too with the farm raised.
Yeah, look that up.
Yeah, look that up. The thing of it is that so if you're gonna go the fish oil route or if you're gonna eat fish, just make sure that it's of high quality and I guess that's good advice.
And not just that. So that being said, and if you're not a person who likes the fish taste or whatever, because I'm not, you can use flaxseed oil, walnuts, and chia seeds.
Different types of walnuts too.
Yep. And those are also high in omega-3. So, take those kind of things. And Inflammagon.
Inflammagon, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Chia seeds. That chia pet that you remember growing up? Chia. But I want the Bob Ross chia.
So to move on from that is that I used to love drinking the chia seeds. Like if you put some in like a bottle of water and just let it kind of expand, it actually tastes pretty good. I enjoy it. And you can even do it with like cucumber water.
Well, and there's a way to add flavoring to it.
Yeah, like cucumbers, or chop them up and you put them in water and let it soak for a little bit, and then you get that cucumber flavour. Or you can squeeze any fruits, whatever you want to put in there, but fresh.
Yeah, and it's actually quite filling too, because when they expand like that, they just kind of go. I think you can make a Jello out of it, or a pudding.
Yeah.
A pudding, yes. Anyways, so yeah, look those up. I mean, but chia seeds is obviously a really good a good source of omega-3s. When you grow your chia pet, just remember that's a good source of omega-3.
No. So anyway, long story short, an incident did happen with one of our loved ones, our daughter.
Yeah, it's true.
And she had a severe head injury where the doctor had told me that all her white matter was gone, and that they had her on life support and they were going to keep her alive until we arrived. So I started.
The words were, "We'll keep her alive until you can get the funeral arrangements together."
And until we get them, we can say our goodbyes, and then we can. But that was it.
It's awful.
So what did I do? I searched to find out how do we build the brain, and that's how I learned about omega-3 fatty acids. And after this break.
That's right. After we come back, you'll learn more about what Lourdes did.
And how we turned that around.
And how many people she made cry in the process.
Sometimes you have to argue with these people.
It's true. Dr. Newsom, our friend of the show and our in-house doctor, has another product that we really, really love. It's called Inflamagon.
Yes. Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon, comprehensive, one-of-a-kind, powerful anti-inflammatory botanical formula made with...
It's called curcumin.
Yeah, from organic turmeric root.
And he actually gets that from organic turmeric root.
Yep. It's freeze-dried Frankenstein's oil.
Did you say Frankenstein's oil?
How do you say it?
I say, okay, it has freeze-dried frankincense oil.
Scent, for the love of goodness.
Can you imagine Frankenstein's oil?
Did I say Stein? I said Steins.
You know what I mean? I'm saying, fire bad, Inflamagon good, joints feel better.
And you know what, sometimes, okay?
Okay, so it's got freeze-dried frankincense oil inside there, and it's actually bound to Dr. Newsom's unique fulvic acid and humic acid formula.
It's maximum absorption, anti-inflammatory actions. Guys, when it comes to inflammation, that's where disease thrives on. I mean, we're talking from cancer to bone disease to...
If you've not seen it yet, Dr. Newsom has this great conversation that he has about inflammation, and he uses a particle board as an example. We'll try and get that video up for you if we haven't already. But basically, it's just like inflammation is where problems happen. And what's happened in the industry nowadays, and we're all dealing with inflammation in some form or another. So what's happening is, it's arthritis, but it's also not arthritis. Psoriasis is known as an inflammatory disease. Lupus, fibromyalgia, it all falls underneath this umbrella of inflammation. So that's why Dr. Newsom created Inflamagon, and it goes in line with everything else he does, because it's just the best quality that he could possibly do, because he legit gives a hoot. I was going to say something else.
But this is the thing. It's everything he's created comes from the best quality of ingredients so that you have the best results. And his stuff is amazing. I mean, we know that inflammation can cause cell death. We know that inflammation causes cancer. We know inflammation, like he said, you saw the list. It's very long. So when you take something that's anti-inflammatory, like Inflamagon, that's something that you wouldn't have to really worry about a lot of things. It's all natural, all organic, from nature, made from the best ingredients, from the best guy that could have put it together, and it just keeps you healthy.
Organic turmeric root, Frankenstein's oils.
Oh, stop it.
Frankincense oil. So it's just like, your body knows what to do with all that, and that's our point. That's why you're going to want to buy Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon.
Yes, that's what we want. We want you to buy the best so that you can stay healthy. We only support and talk about and really push things that we know and trust that are good for you. And this is one of them.
When we came up with the concept of the show, one thing that we agreed on from day one is that we're going to vet all the people that we promote. We're going to vet these people because it's important to us that we're not misleading people down the wrong paths. And that's why Dr. Newsom is so amazing, because his is absolutely top of the notch, the best products that you can buy.
Yep. Which is why we
So
You'll
look
see
into
many of his
Inflamagon. Stop dealing with that inflammation, man. Get the Inflamagon.
Yeah.
It's the best that you can get. Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon.
And by the way, inflammation causes pain. Most people are like popping pills because they got pain.
It's true.
But if you take Inflamagon and you're getting rid of all that inflammation, you really don't have much for pain.
You know, I had a relative who said once, I'll just keep taking my ibuprofen. And one of his doctor friends said to him, well, let me know how your kidneys react to that after a certain amount of time. So it's like, geez. But this one is like...
You don't need your kidneys anyway.
Yeah, who needs them? And this was like your kidneys
Overrated.
So with Dr. Newsom's Inflamagon, your body knows. It's like the kidneys are like, come on in, baby, you're good, I got you. The liver's like, no, nothing to see here, we're good, legit.
Well, because when you use nature and it's got the nutrients your body needs and it recognizes, it starts working. And this is the thing. These nutrients and these ingredients that he uses, it's what the body needs to get rid of inflammation. So we're back.
Yeah, and Lourdes, during that break, was just so anxious to get going. She was rushing me. I'm trying to drink some water. I kind of choked a little.
No.
Jeez, let's go. Oh my gosh, let's go. She really wants to talk about this. So here we are.
No, so that's not true. He choked because he drank it too fast and he was in the middle trying to breathe.
I do it all the time. So.
All right, so here it goes. What happened is, and I need to stop saying so. Don't I say so? I need to stop saying so. Yeah, that being said,
you say so.
I know. So
stop it.
Okay.
So enough.
No, you so.
So.
Okay. So we're back at home. See? We're back at home.
Okay, we're at home.
And I get this call.
Yes.
From my mom that our daughter was in the hospital and that she was in a coma. And at first I didn't believe it. It just seemed too unreal.
Yeah, I think when you hear something like that, you go, no, that can't be right.
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't sound right.
And so I thought, well, maybe my mom misunderstood. Sure. Her English isn't that great. I mean, her English is good, but there's times where she may misunderstand something, I should say. Because when she gets angry, she understands everything.
Yeah, very well.
So I was good. She gets the call, and so she just tells me, well, call the hospital. So I thought, let me do that. Let me get to that.
From the horse's mouth.
Yeah, let me find out what really happened, what's really going on. And I got to tell you, it was shocking to hear the nurse on the other end of the phone telling me that our daughter is in a coma, that she is brain dead, that they needed us to get there soon, and that they would keep her on the machines alive until we got there. And then kind of get things in order because it was kind of done.
Yeah, they were extending us a favor.
Yeah.
By keeping her on life support until we can make it there to say our goodbyes. This is as it was told to us now by the hospital.
Yeah.
And of course, it suddenly became very real, right? It went from no, that can't be right, Mom. That doesn't seem right. To wow, it was a real gut punch.
And I mean, even trying to pack and leave on the next flight out, I couldn't even think.
I know. Yeah, it was.
I was just like, I needed to. It was just nuts. You don't understand how things can get crazy and how you can't even think when something like that happens. Yeah, it's like so quick. So anyway, we fly out. Before we get out there, I start doing my research.
Right.
What builds the brain? And I started searching. I started sharing on social media what was going on. Other people started searching as well.
We prayed.
Yes.
And we asked for guidance.
Pray to God. Tell me what she needs to get better.
That's right.
Because through my journey with cancer, he showed me that everything was fixable. Yep. So all I needed him to do is show me, since everything is fixable, how do I fix this? What do I need? So instantly it was like, get on social media, start looking things up, share the information. And I'm like, oh my goodness, yes, that's what I did before. So I got on there, started looking things up. I started sharing it on Facebook. And one of our dear friends, Ken Burden, shared a video of this kid who had brain injury and he was in a coma and what they did for him to turn things around.
And?
So that confirmed it.
And what they do for him?
They gave him omega-3 fatty acids. 20 grams.
20 grams of fish oil.
20 grams of fish oil in the feeding tube. on a daily basis.
That's right.
And I got a hold of the doctor. They thought I was crazy because they're like 3 grams is a lot. So the thing is that when that occurred, I didn't care what they said. When it comes to your loved one, you fight. You don't go, well, the doctor said, well, there's no fix to this. Because too many people do that. We love our loved ones. We really want the best for them. But the moment someone says, because they have a degree, pharmaceuticals, they can give you a prescription, all of a sudden, everything goes out the window.
Right.
It doesn't matter that there might be a hope, there might be something else outside that box. They ignore it because this one guy or this one woman told them there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
Right.
They're right. There's nothing they can do because the only thing they give them is this thing. In this box, these are the things you're allowed to do. Outside of that, you will lose your license. I contacted the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, it's a little high. And it's like, this is what I want to do. I'm not asking. I'm telling you, we're not turning off the machines. So we went, long story short, he told me what I needed to do.
Well, no. So then we arrived after the research was there.
Yes.
And they were, it was funny, they were keeping Christina, her name's Christina, they were keeping Christina alive long enough for us to go there and say our goodbyes. But they were concerned about giving her more than 3 grams of fish oil because
it could cause
internal
bleeding.
And you're just like, what? Wait,
wait, you want to kill her off anyway.
Yeah,
you want to unplug her and let her die.
The sales
but
pitch,
don't you dare give her 20 grams because she might. What?
Yeah, the sales pitch was, we can make her comfortable.
Yep, and we're like, nope, this is what we're going to do. I want to give her 20 grams of fish oil. I shared, and a lot of the doctors just argued with me, but I got to tell you, there was one doctor who was extraordinarily amazing. He was the head doctor of the ICU floor in this hospital in Chicago.
She kind of glanced over that argue thing. Like there were times I'm just like, am I going to have to restrain Lourdes at this point? Because, yeah, it was not just like a little argument here about.
No, I lost it. I lost it.
Yeah,
I didn't ask. I demanded.
There was fear in some of these medical staff's eyes as Lourdes was telling them what was going to happen.
Yep, I'm like.
And the security guard got called on you.
Yeah. In fact, it was so funny because as I was making sure they gave her that, the head doctor agreed and said, this is what you want to do. This is what I want to do. He was amazing. Yep. It was the rest of the doctors, and I'm going to say it like it is, the rest of those doctors argued with me, the nurses too, except one nurse. She was amazing. I love her. They argued with me. They fought with me. They resisted everything I said, and I didn't care because that was my daughter. And they gave her 20 grams of fish oil on a daily basis, and on the 8th day, she woke up.
Yeah,
and yes, she had doll eyes, what they call doll eyes.
Yeah, so there's a term, there's a medical term. It's kind of dark, really.
Yeah.
They call it it's called doll eyes.
Because their eyes are just like
their eyes are open, but it's like there's no
blinking, there's no movement. It's like big.
Okay.
On purpose, they kept constantly coming in and taking the gauze and touching her.
To prove to us that the lights were on but no one was home, they would take gauze, folded gauze, and they would touch her eye.
And so I finally said, stop. Stop touching my daughter's eye. I no longer give you the permission to do that. Sorry. It's like they can't do something if you don't give permission. I gave no more permission. And I told them, I can tell. Looking at my daughter, I can tell. She's not going to flinch. She's like this. Her eyes aren't blinking. You don't need to keep touching her eyeball.
Okay, so we are running out of time. So
yes,
they changed their sales pitch. So we do need to take a break. That's why I was trying to take a break.
Yeah. And quickly. Okay. 8 days later, she woke up. Dr. Newsom spent nearly 2 decades.
2 decades.
Perfecting this energy-generating powerful formula.
Super Earth Energy. We should have an image up there. Super Earth Energy.
Yeah, we have that. Yeah. It'll be there.
Super Earth Energy. It helps to improve adrenal and muscle fatigue, chronic
fatigue.
Sure.
Compromised immune system. sleep deficit.
Yeah, the sleep deficit. Oy. Okay, so the Super Earth Energy. Earlier today, she said super earthy energy, and I thought, what is that? Do I feel
Earthy?
Earthy. But no, it's super earth energy. And Dr. Newsom, can you imagine spending nearly 2 decades of your life perfecting a formula that helps people with like sleep deficit problems, compromised immune systems,
Low sexual desire?
Yeah, let's not overlook that. I mean, I overlook it because I don't have a problem with it, but no, I'm just saying it's one of those, and that kind of goes hand in hand with energy as it is. Because look, if you don't have energy, you're just not. That's not even a thing in your thought process.
Yeah, so I think it goes hand in hand. And so this kind of takes care of the fatigue and the draining feeling and the just overall like.
That sleep deficit, though, that's something that I have problems with that every now and again.
Me too.
You know,
Well, guess what we're taking?
please. Yeah, guess what? And we started taking the super earth energy for that reason. So it's just one of those things where, like, right now, as we speak.
Yeah.
You know, the thing of it is that everybody could use a little pick-me-up energy, and in this world, I mean, my
Most
dear,
people go to like coffee or energy drinks.
my sister's like what 2 pots a day now or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she can pump.
Now,
stuff
to be fair, my sister's an amazing woman, and she loves her coffee, and
She does love her coffee.
and that's one of those things where, like, it's her culture. So, and a lot of people have kind of adopted that. But can you imagine
Not
if she
needing it?
stopped like a light switch?
Well, many people actually end up with headaches.
We have a very close friend of ours who's a screenwriter producer who decided to give up caffeine altogether, right? And he was one of those 2 pots a day kind of guys, and he wound up with like a chronic headache for like 2
migraine,
weeks.
yeah,
He just had a migraine for like 2 weeks until he said he finally got over it and he felt better afterward. But can you imagine having to go through all that? But why get attached to something like that when you've got something like super earth energy, which is naturally increasing your
Super
energy?
earth energy.
Did I not
Is
say
it right?
super?
No, he said super energy and it's super earth energy.
I ate the earth.
Because
But I said super earth energy. This is what I said, super earth energy.
the point is.
Super earth energy.
There you go, baby. I knew you had it in you.
The good Dr. Newsom, our in-house doctor, actually spent nearly 2 decades.
Yep.
I mean, let that sink in.
Nearly 2 decades.
Wow.
Perfecting this formula.
But
Why? Because he cares about people.
I was just gonna say that doesn't surprise me. Look at the source. Of course, he spent nearly 2 decades perfecting this formula because that's how much he cares. And
He really does.
You know, chronic fatigue is something that people, those who are suffering with it, you know, I can't imagine. It's just you're in a perpetual state of being tired.
Well, how many people have insomnia? I mean, I'm just saying.
That's what.
So-
And then with everything that's going on right now in the world, I mean, that probably is
The
happening to
stress
more and
level,
more
yeah.
people. So yeah, and then the low sexual desire, like that's.
Again.
Some people
hand
are
in
struggling
hand.
with that, so it all goes hand in hand. So, yeah, go ahead and get yourself some super earth energy.
Get super earth energy if you want to stop this whole fatigue
don't
mess.
Don't get energy. Get super earth energy.
And it helps the adrenal, like we mentioned, muscle fatigue.
Right? Adrenal and muscle fatigue. It's good for both of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't? Yeah. You want super earth energy.
So get yours today. It is the best. I mean, honestly, everything this man makes is the best.
That's why he's our guy.
Yep. That's why he's that guy.
Super earth energy.
Super earth energy. Super earth energy, say it fast.
Super earth energy.
Faster.
But when I said super earth energy before, you said I didn't say earth, and I did say
No, he did not. No. If you guys rewind that sucker, you're going to see he said super energy and not super earth.
super earth energy.
There you go. Yeah.
We're back.
And we're back.
Okay. 8 days after us introducing fish oil, 20 grams of fish oil into her system, she did wake up, which they said that would never happen.
Yep.
And she
No.
did.
They said, and even if she
Oh, go
did,
ahead, yeah,
even if she did wake up,
Yeah, this is the new sales pitch that they gave us.
right.
Now that she woke up, this is what they were telling us.
Even if she did wake up, she'd wake up in a vegetative state, and eventually, because the brain's not functioning,
right.
her organs would shut down, and she would still die anyway. And we're just causing all this extra suffering to ourselves and her.
Yeah, and she would suffer the whole way through.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, she's brain dead.
Yeah, but
So,
somehow,
anyways,
a lot of stuff. If you really just listen, you can catch the BS, because we're going to make her comfortable. If she's brain dead, she wouldn't feel it anyway, right?
Right. So what they were trying to convince us of, still, even with her eyes open and them touching her with the gauze and all that nonsense,
That she
the
was
new
gonna-
sales pitch was, well, look, she's not going to come any further than this.
Yeah.
This is as far as
She's
she's
going
going
to
go.
eventually just,
And you know, you're being cruel by by allowing this to go on. Now, here's the thing. Lourdes had some very close people to her who were upset with Lourdes for not just listening to the doctor and just doing what the doctor said, because they heard that she'd be suffering and all this other stuff. So there was a lot of eyes on Lourdes saying that she was being cruel. There was a lot of eyes on me saying I was being cruel. And look, the reality was like, it's been 8 days. Everybody, it's just...
Calm down.
Yeah.
Here's another one. So she had this tube down her throat, right?
The intubation.
And I was like, she doesn't, her body was reacting to it. I understood, because I had that once down my throat when I was in the situation I was in when I was fighting cancer, that I got the pain is so severe that her heart was reacting to that pain. She can't speak, but she's feeling it. So no one can tell me she's not, because how do they know? They're not her, right? But I understood that you feel that. So I wanted them to take it out of there, because I could tell she was breathing on her own, but this thing is in there and it's irritating her. And they're like, no, that has to stay there because that's what's keeping her to breathe. I said, no, she's breathing on her own, because I saw that everything started functioning. Her eyes were open. She's good. We need to get that out of there. So this one particular doctor, not the head doctor of the ICU room was amazing. ICU floor was amazing.
Oh.
In fact, it was one of the things that I told them when I saw my daughter she was so swollen and they had these IVs on her, and I understood that if you don't get a diuretic or something to get rid of that, it's going to cause cell death. It's
Hey, what were we saying about inflammation before?
Yep, that's why you want Inflamagon.
That's right.
Avoid it. So I had told them she needs a diuretic, and they're like, it's because of the brain. I said, give her a diuretic. They gave her a diuretic, and somehow the brain functioned because all the swelling went away.
Yeah, suddenly she wasn't a balloon.
Yeah. So I started arguing with him about getting this tube thing out, and the one specific doctor that I just couldn't stomach. We didn't like each other at all.
Was obvious.
Yeah, he was just like, let her die, and I'm like, no.
They couldn't even see each other in the hallway
No.
without that whole,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was so boy.
I mean, and they even had her like on all these. I made them take her off all these prescriptions. So long story short, we go in. I argue with them. And so the doctor goes, fine. And he said, well, she will have to be able to breathe without that for 8 hours. I said, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it. I could tell. I'm thinking, I didn't even get your training. I can look at my child and I can tell she's breathing on her own, but you can't see it with your own eyes. What are you doing taking care of patients? Anyway, then he went, fine, take her, he tells the people to take the thing off and turn it off. 8 hours later, she is still breathing on her own.
And
I'm like,
omega-3 was doing its job. Like the brain was starting to reconnect and they told us that her white matter was completely destroyed.
Yep.
And suddenly things were happening. The body was starting to
do its
own thing again. And it had everything to do with that. Now, they tried to stop giving it to her. And, And so if you're an advocate for somebody in the hospital, you need to be actively in the conversation because it was Lourdes that caught the fact that, wait a minute, she's looking over the meds for the day and she goes, she hasn't gotten the fish oil today.
Oh, yeah, they discontinued it. So that got into another thing. But real quick, they would not take that tube out of her throat unless they did the trach tube. And I saw what my daughter was suffering. I'm like, wait a minute, you said if she could breathe for straight 8 hours, you can take that off. She didn't need the trach.
That's right.
They didn't care. So now my daughter has it down her throat. She is suffering. I finally signed them to do it because that's the one thing they wouldn't budge on. They needed that extra check on that surgery. Mm-hmm. They did the trach, and they never had to use the trach at all to breathe at all right after putting that thing in. So now she's got that scar for no reason. So some family members were arguing. So some family members were arguing that that's probably what she needed. And then they saw later, well, one particular person that was there got to see that I was right. Because when they put that trach in, they never put the oxygen on there. She didn't need it.
Never had to.
She didn't need it. I told them that. But, so, fast forward back to...
Okay. So they tried to continue to give her...
to discontinue the fish oil.
Well, they discontinued the fish oil. Lourdes had to argue with them to get that back on track, and she actually had to contact the head doctor again and get him re-enrolled.
Well, it was interesting is what I did is I called my hubby, and because he by then went back home because he had to go back to work.
Right.
And I said, can you believe these people? And of course I was right there by the nurse's station. They're not giving her the 20 grams of fish oil, and I'm going to call my friend who's, the state of
She's a state representative
there, and I'm going to have this hospital closed down, and people are going to lose their jobs, and I'm losing my mind, and I'm saying her name, I'm just saying everything.
Now,
5 minutes later, they came in with the fish oil.
From my perspective, I was just at my job listening to my wife go off, and then I heard something like that sounded like a hospital. I'm like, wait, are you in the hospital right now? Because I thought she was like maybe out in the parking lot giving the fizz. No, she was saying it with them right there.
I needed them to hear
it was rough.
How angry I was. In that being said, we've learned, even when I've spoken with the doctors, when it came to my daughter, Christina, that they didn't know that they could use omega-3 fatty acids to help with that huge inflammation that she had going on, all that swelling in her body and in the brain. They didn't know that just by giving her that gave the chance for the brain to start repairing itself. Because it's like the doctor told me, thank you for telling us this and sharing this, because we don't get taught this in medical schools. They couldn't stand me, but I didn't care. I wasn't there to make them happy. I was there to bring my daughter back to life.
Okay, so the fish oil did continue, and then they tried to hide.
They had the same patch.
Propofol, they put propofol patch. So she wasn't waking up. And they kept going, well, see, she's not waking up. See, she's not waking up.
Yep.
Like, well, you have her so drugged up. I mean,
so, yeah, but supposedly they took all the drugs out. So I'm washing her up, and I see this patch under her arm, and I asked this one nurse, I said, what is that? And she says,
that's a propofol patch.
I'm like, wait, I told them specifically I didn't want her on nothing, so I took it off.
She took it off.
She was good.
Yeah. And?
She was no longer under.
No, and?
Well, by the end of that month,
that's right.
Though she couldn't speak or anything, she could now, her eye, because at first her one eye would just move, but then after that, both her eyes would go. And she would follow
her eyes started tracking. And the test that they do where they kind of rub your foot, her foot was reacting the right way. And
before it wasn't reacting, now it's all reacting.
And they can't touch her with that gauze because her eyes like, oh no. And you know, so wait a minute, the fish oil is doing something, that omega-3 fatty acids, it's getting in there and rebuilding something. And what's weird is how upset the hospital staff was that this seemed to be working.
Yeah. They couldn't stand it. Instead of looking at me as this mother who wants to save their child, they looked at me like this nuisance that didn't allow them to kill this child off so that they can make money off her death. Because by the way, hospitals do make money, look that up, just like they did with the whole other stuff. They make money with all the stuff that they've been using and pumping her into, the surgeries, everything. But I was getting in the way of that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it like it is.
All right.
We'll be back.
We'll be right back.
We're going to introduce you to somebody after these messages. After these messages. He always wants to go get his water.
Well, I thought we were on break now.
Okay, go get your water.
Are you waking up with a hot head, stuffy nose, congested, or feeling exhausted? It could be the very pillow you're sleeping on. We spend 1/3 of our life on a pillow that often isn't comfortable. Plus, the toxic chemicals and materials in many of them can actually make us sick. The amazing Silverite pillow could be the answer for you. The Silverite pillow uses the power of pure silver to help give you the best sleep of your life.
Silver has been known for years to be an antimicrobial.
In the medical field, it's very safe and compatible with the human body, and it also is hard for bacteria to develop resistance.
The Silverite pillow brings an added layer of confidence by infusing silver crystals right into the pillowcase fibers, using a safe, innovative technology to help maintain a healthy sleep environment. And it is filled with kapok, an abundant natural fiber with the feel of cashmere. The pillow is designed to be adjustable just for you. And kapok is sustainable, eco-friendly, water and pest resistant, plus it's non-toxic.
And we're back.
We made it back. Here we are. And this is the person we promised that you would be seeing.
Yep.
This is our lovely and amazing daughter, Christina.
Christina,
go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Christina Lavoie.
Say it like you mean it.
Hi, my name is Christina Lavoie.
and welcome to the show.
That's right. You're here on our show. You speak up like you mean it.
Okay.
So, Christina, obviously, you had a huge journey.
Yep.
Can you go over anything that you might remember from that day.
Oh, do you remember?
Do you? Yeah.
Honestly, at the moment, I don't remember anything, but at the time, I might have remembered getting into an argument, and then I woke up out of the coma. That was it.
So yeah, so your memory is there was something that occurred, but you're foggy on that thought of what actually occurred, and then next you know you woke up in a hospital. You came from a coma, so that's pretty much your knowledge of what happened.
Yeah.
So the thing that did occur, though, is something that we won't be able to know much about. But what we do know is through her journey, it was through persistence and understanding how the brain works, how the body works, how the cells repair itself, how we regenerate, that it is how we persist to make sure that we don't just go, there's nothing we can do, and we give up. We've learned through our own experience, through my experience when I had cancer, through my experience when our daughter was in a coma and considered, as they put it, brain dead because all her white matter was gone.
That's what they said.
They were willing to give up. They were willing to give up on her.
On his
and
life.
Here she is, this beautiful child who is alive and well and doing great, who even has a new baby that she just gave birth to last year.
Yeah.
Right? Little John.
So we're talking about a life that continued on and created yet another life, and this is something that the doctors were really pushing for you to just give up on.
Yep.
Now, during the coma itself, do you have any recollections of that time in the hospital? And actually, maybe a better question: what's the first thing you remember? So you know that you something had happened. We know after the fact that it was definitely a traumatic brain injury, but so like a hard hit to the head is what we're pretty sure happened.
And the first was this other stuff that it's another story that we'll go into another time. So you guys definitely want to keep
tuning in.
Keep tuning in because there's more to this story. Right now we're focused more on how the brain works, how omega-3 fatty acids is amazing when it comes to inflammation, and how it can repair things.
So thinking back on it now, what's your first memory like of you waking up in the hospital or?
Well, before I even woke up from the hospital, I knew something was wrong because you know how when you like have a bad dream and you wake up, like and you have a bad dream and you can't wake up, so you scare yourself out of the dream. Well, I kept having bad dream after bad dream. The first one was a dog chasing me. The next one was spiders and centipedes and stuff like that. And it got there was nothing that could wake me up out of the dream. I was trying everything. I was like, this is the first and only time that I keep having bad dream after bad dream. And I knew something was wrong because I couldn't wake up. Even if I tried to scare myself, I was like, oh my God, I'm not waking up. This is not good.
You know, you've said that before, and I've always wondered if that was because the fish oil was kicking in and starting to relink the things that were supposed to be relinked.
You were finally things were starting to connect again, but you just couldn't get yourself to wake up because now that's reconnecting, right? Everything else wasn't functioning, and now you're trying. You're like, I keep dreaming. Why am I not waking up out of these nightmares?
Yeah.
And you were saying earlier before we started that you have advice for anybody who's got a loved one in the hospital and what you would tell them.
If they were in this situation.
Fight for your family because they don't have anybody else but you.
Yep.
You know, so your whole life is ahead of you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got aspirations, you've got goals. And here's the thing. It's like you know, the butterfly effect or the ripple effect. Because she's living, who knows what amazing things she's going to generate in this world, and that ripples outward. And you know, I think you were saying earlier that that's your thing. You know that you clearly need to do something amazing now, just to make that impact on the world now.
Well, yeah, you even mentioned about how you've been wanting to be a difference, and you believe, right?
Yeah, it's just, I really do want to make a big difference in this world, and I don't know how yet. I'm hoping my story will change people's lives or something. Otherwise, something else will come up. I don't know how to figure it out, but yeah.
But at the very minimum, your beautiful and amazing son is with us, and again, we can't understand. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't get the master plan. Yeah. But who knows? He might create a better light bulb. I don't know. I mean, we just don't know.
You don't know. You don't know what's going on or what's going to happen. But what you do know is that how you feel and what you want to do, right? It's in the world. We have to look at every illness, every issue, every injury and say, okay, this is all they could do with what they were taught. Can we look outside of that?
Christina and I often tell Lourdes that if she's not passionate about this topic, will people listen? Please get some passion involved, will you?
I can't help it. I'm very passionate. I don't think anyway.
Who knows? The next brain injury, hopefully that doctor takes that in stride and says, this worked before. And based on what happened with
right.
Christina, he now understands that is a thing, that can work, that is a path.
And he could address it to one of the family members to see if they want to try that.
Right.
And that may save who knows how many other people in that situation.
That's right.
And it's interesting because, speaking of this, people go, well, it depends on the head injury. Well, maybe that one was because of an overdose, or that one was because they had a stroke, or that one was because they got in a car accident. There's so many different things, but I can tell you that even through our experience, there was a girl who reached out to us about their mother. Mm-hmm. And hers, I believe, and we'll show that, but it was like some kind of embolism or something that happened in the brain. Mm-hmm. And she was in the hospital from April to August in a coma, and she reached out to me and said, my mother's been in, she went in April, she's been like this since August. I've been looking up and I've been finding about this thing of fish oil. And then a friend of mine shared your story. Do you think this would help my mom? And I said, absolutely. And I said, now they're going to fight you in the beginning. And she said they did. Mm-hmm. I said, but you keep being persistent, and she was. And so the doctor eventually then did that, gave her the 20 grams, 10 grams a day. Twice a day. So 10 grams twice a day, a total of 20 grams a day, through her feeding tube, and her mother woke up, and her mother went through the same process. She was that kind of vegetative state, then she had to go through through the walk-in, as you can see, all these things that they had to go through. But now her mom is fine. And that was completely different from her injury. It still had to do with trauma and injury to the brain.
Well, I think actually the big takeaway for people should be you be willing and open-minded to try anything that might possibly work. So Christina, I guess that bar set pretty high for you now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You're gonna do big, amazing things then.
Oh, for sure.
All right, she's already doing amazing things.
That's what I'm saying. It's already started.
If we just look at where she was at and what she's up to now and what the things that she's doing.
And you'll see when you see that further, when we do, you'll see. It's coming back.
We can't give you all of the, we can't give it all away. But as you see the show and progressing it to the next episodes and so, we're going to be putting in certain things of the story that you're going to get to see.
So I'm sorry. It just sometimes it takes me back with the miracle of the fact that all because you said no, we're not going to just give up. We have our daughter, and
an amazing grandson,
an amazing grandson, and that none of that would have been so. It was like a different timeline just to get all sci-fi on you people. Yeah,
it would have been very different. And now we get to be like this, oh my God, and then when we see the baby, we're like, oh my goodness, there's all these goodnesses in here,
and we're so happy that she's with us. Oh, we're so happy she's here.
We love you.
I love you too.
We love you.
And we're proud of you.
I'm proud of you too.
She should be proud of us. We're awesome.
Yeah.
And thanks for not giving up on me, Mom.
That was never
in the cards.
Yep, that was never even an option, because that's not option C.
All right, we're gonna be right back, and we got a little bit more to discuss. A word from our sponsors, and then
Philosophy 1 from Dr. Daniel Newsom.
Well, I was going to introduce that later, but since she's already...
I can't help myself.
So hang out with us, because you're going to be seeing philosophy number 1 of our good friend Dr. Newsom, and we're going to hear from his own words.
Yep. So each episode you'll get the extra philosophy, but this will be our first philosophy from Dr.
Christina
Daniel
was just telling us she can't wait. And we're like, whoa, wait. So it's coming up.
Yes, it is.
Healing principle number 1, okay? The composition of the human body must remain in balance in order for healing to happen, okay? Here's the thing, toxicology and nutrition are kind of two sides to one coin, okay? On one side you got toxins, all right? Those toxins want to get into every place where nutrients are supposed to be in your cells. And on the other side, we have nutrition. And nutrition should be supplying the cells with all of the nuts and bolts and the working parts that they need in order to keep functioning and keep replicating, right? The other thing that nutrition does is it blocks the body's absorption of toxins. Okay? Not only helps the body metabolize toxins out, but it also works as a barrier, keeping toxins from plugging into the cells. Correct? All right. So let's talk real quick. My favorite analogy on the composition of the body is very, very similar to soil. Okay? Think about this. Soil is moisture. Okay, so we have water. Soil is also microbes. Okay, we have soil, we have microbes, water, and we have varying levels and ratios of the periodic table. That's what soil is. So we got, within soil, you've got water or moisture, you got microbes, and you have varying ratios of the periodic table, right? Okay. In the human body is 65% oxygen and 11.5% hydrogen. Okay, if you mix those together, you get water, which makes the human body 76.5% water. All right. Then we have the rest of the periodic table, correct? We got all these other elements in our body. We've at least 73 elements that are supposed to be in our body. And then we have about 1,000 times more microbes in our body than we do cells. Okay, you have 1,000 times more microbial DNA in your system than you have human DNA. All right, so the human body is, we have water, we have varying ratios of the periodic table, and we have microbes, and those are the components of our body, and those things have to be in balance and have to be in the right ratios in order for you to be healthy. Okay, we get too much calcium in our body, it makes us sick. We get too much lead in our body, it makes us sick. We get too much mercury in our body, it makes us sick. We get too much strep in our body, it makes us sick. We get too much candida in our body, it makes us sick, okay? We get too much water or too little water, okay? It makes us sick. So imbalances in the composition of the body create the environment for disease to take place. So maintaining the composition of the body in balance is paramount for healing to happen. So that's principle number one.
Like, subscribe, follow, and share our channel.
Yeah, like, follow, subscribe, share.
Our channel.
In that order, though. If you
So
get
you wanna
out of
hit
that
the like.
order,
Yeah,
no. You want to smash that like button.
Go boop.
You want to
Like.
follow us so you know when we're bringing out more content.
Yeah, and then you want to subscribe.
Subscribe, man.
Yeah.
Just, you're going to want to
help-
catch every show because
Yeah.
we're going to give you little gems every time.
That's right. And by you guys following, liking, and subscribing, it does help us by helping others, because the more people watch, the more people like and subscribe, the more it'll just pop up. And, like, you know how the algorithm works.
You know how it works. No, and then the share part is important too. I'm sure right now you've got somebody in your life that you absolutely love and care about, and you want them to be able to get these little pearls of wisdom or to change their conversation around health. So share. Yeah, share away.
Because we are going to be having some not just what we're sharing and stuff, but we're going to have amazing people on the show that are going to share even more pearls of wisdom.
That's right.
Honestly, you're going to love what they have to say, what they have to share, and their stories.
Kind of like that roller coaster ride. We're at the top now. Oh, and then, whoa, it's coming. So you're going to want to be a part of this journey. You want to be part of this roller coaster ride with us, just at the peak. And then the other thing is,
you want to have your hands up.
Yeah, screaming. No, not while you're watching the show.
No.
Your neighbors might call somebody for help.
You might find
I don't know.
Something's going on. Yeah,
something's up.
But definitely follow, subscribe, and like, and share. When you're done watching and loving it, and I hope you do love this show, because we really do want to make it fun, but we want to also make it inspiring and informative. I mean, that's our goal.
That's right.
Fun, inspiring, and informative.
And since that's our goal, and since that's what our mantra is, we've actually set up a donation button. If you would just care to donate to us and let us know, that gives some support so we can continue doing this service that we can. We've gotten clear that this conversation needs to change, and someone needs to start it, and why not us? That's what's up.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't go through what we went through just to kind of keep it to ourselves. No.
That's right. It's time for us to start shifting this conversation, and you're a part of that conversation now. Too late.
Yes.
You're in it.
You're in it. So like, subscribe, and share. And if you want, you can go to Create right at this moment. I'm sure things will change differently. But you can go to Create Option C, the letter C, .com, and there's a donation button there. Just click that sucker. It'll take you directly to, I think, like PayPal or something. You can donate there.
And help us keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, we are on social media. Somewhere we'll put the different, because it's all like Instagram's got,
there, right? So
now if I don't do that, I'm going to look weird. If we don't put it like right there,
right
like you
there,
said,
or right here,
we gotta,
or right
no
there,
pressure though.
or
Yeah.
right here, right? But that being said, again, we want to really make this difference and impact people's life in a very positive way. So if you not just donate, you don't even, but you share, like, and subscribe, that really does help us to help others.
That's right, and also help our sponsors. They're up to the same mission that we are. So that's why we're partnered with them.
Because we got to see firsthand not only their amazing story, not only their amazing products, but what they've been up to and the things they've been doing with so many people. Like, they've changed people's lives.
They're playing the same game we're playing.
Yep. They're Option C. And these are doctors who've gotten the training to look outside the box to find out how they can help their patients and others who look for it.
They're the good ones.
They're the good ones. We found the good ones for you guys.
Yeah.
Help the guys out.